Keep your knees together, or you could take your knees to the edge of your mat for a deeper stretch on your hips. And walking your hands forward, lengthening out through your spine and just relaxing your forehead down. Just taking this time to settle into your practice. Maybe finding some stillness to your day. To connect with the breath in your body. Really lengthening your inhales. Completely letting go of your exhales. Allowing yourself to soften a little more into your mat. And from here, we'll start to walk our hands out towards the right side of our mat, stretching across the left side of the body. And then walking your hands through center and over to the left, lengthening out the right side. And we'll do that one more time on each side. So walking your hands back over to the right. And when you're ready, back over to the left. And then walking your hands back into the center. On your next inhale, coming up onto your hands and your knees, making sure wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. On your next inhale, rounding through your spine, dropping your head down. As you exhale, lowering your belly, spread your sit bones, lift your chest, gazing forward. So a big inhale will round, dropping the head down, really pulling the shoulder blades apart. As you exhale, lower your belly, lift your chest, gazing forward. So a couple more of these at the own rhythm of your breath. Going as fast or as slow as you need. And then maybe even finding some movement from side to side if that feels good for you, especially if you've been sitting all day. And then when you're ready, we'll come back into a neutral spine. Spreading your fingertips nice and wide, we'll tuck our toes, lift the hips high, downwards, facing dog. So if it feels good for you, maybe walking out your feet. Again, maybe taking your chest outside to side. Whatever movement feels good for you in your body. Coming to stillness. We'll start to walk our feet up towards our hands for a forward fold at the top of our mat, taking as many steps as you need to get there. So really letting your head hang heavy, maybe a big bend in your knees. You could even walk your legs out here, bending into one leg, straightening into the other. Maybe giving your head a shake or a nod, letting go of any tension in the body. And then coming to stillness. On your next inhale, we'll come all the way up, meeting the palms together above the head. And then we'll exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bend into your knees, fold yourself forward. We'll scoop the floor and we'll inhale back up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. And this time we'll inhale halfway lift, hands to shins, lengthening through your spine, opening across your collarbones and your sit bones back behind you. One more round of breath. And then when you're ready, folding yourself forward. We'll step back into a high plank. So just making sure wrists are underneath your shoulders. You're drawing your belly up and in, and you're really pushing the floor away with your hands. We'll just stay here for one more round of breath. And then we'll just gently start to lower our right knee to the mat so it's underneath our hip. Then swivel those toes out to the side, dropping that left heel. We'll reach our left hand all the way up. Taking a moment to check in, we want that wrist underneath our shoulder, our upper body in line with our lower. So really focus on pushing your hips forward. And then we'll reach this left hand up and overhead. Start to really push your hips away from the floor, feeling a nice side body stretch. And then we'll slowly start to swivel our hand back underneath our shoulder, stepping back into your high plank. And then we'll lower down onto our knees, hugging your elbows in. We'll bring the chest all the way down. Untuck the toes, inhale, slight lift of the chest, roll the shoulders back, hug the elbows in. We'll exhale down. Inhale, downwards, facing dog. Maybe walking out the feet if that still feels good for you. And then coming to stillness. Walking your feet up towards your hands for a forward fold. And on your next inhale, we'll come all the way up, meeting the palms together. We'll exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. We'll inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins. And then we'll exhale down. Stepping back into your plank. So wrists are underneath the shoulders, draw the belly up and in. And then we'll slowly start to lower that left knee underneath our hip. Taking your toes out to the side, drop that top heel. Reach the right hand all the way up. Upper body's in line with the lower, really push your hips forward. Then reach this hand up and overhead, push the hips away. And then slowly start to bring that hand back underneath your shoulder, step back into your high plank. This time, option to lower down from your toes, or you can lower down from your knees. Either way, hug the elbows in or come all the way down. Untuck the toes, inhale, slight and lift. Exhale down. Inhale downwards, facing dog. And then walking to the top of the mat for a forward fold. We'll inhale ourselves all the way up. And this time we'll hook our thumbs. We'll spread our fingertips nice and wide, drawing the belly in. We'll take a deep inhale. As you exhale, side bending over to the right. On your inhale, coming center. And we'll exhale to the left. On your inhale, coming center, we'll lower our hands to our hearts. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. We'll inhale, halfway lift. And then we'll exhale to fold. Start to bend into your right knee and straighten more into your left leg. So you're kind of shifting your weight into that right leg as well. Start to take your left hand either out to the side, or if it feels comfortable for you, maybe reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. You could add a little micro bend to that left knee if that feels more comfortable for you. And then slowly start to lower your hand to the mat, coming back into a forward fold. You could give your legs a little bit of a shake if that was quite a lot. And then coming to stillness, we'll start to bend into our left leg, straighten into the right. Taking your right hand either out to the side, or you could open all the way up. So option to add that little micro bend to that right knee. And maybe even look up towards your hands if that feels good for you. And then slowly start to lower your hands to the mat, maybe giving the legs a little bit of a shake. And then coming to stillness, we'll step our right foot to the back of the mat. And then we'll lower down onto the knee. On your next inhale, we'll reach our hands up for our low lunge. Pausing here for a moment, taking this time to check in. We want that knee over our ankle. We're digging that heel to the mat. We really want to feel those thighs turn on. We're drawing the belly in, shoulders are away from our ears. And then we'll slowly start to hook our thumbs, spreading the fingertips nice and wide, just like how we did earlier. Draw the belly in, and maybe you can start to lift your chest up a little bit higher. So drawing the belly in helps protect your lower spine. We want to be somewhere comfortable we can maintain the quality of our breath. And then gently starting to lift up your chest. We'll start to lower our hands to our heart center, taking a deep inhale. As you exhale, start to twist yourself out to your left. So option to hook your left elbow all the way down onto your right thigh and really open across your chest. We'll stay here for one more round of breath. And then on your next inhale, coming center, we'll lower our right hand to the mat underneath our shoulder, twisting back to the left. This time we'll reach our left fingertips all the way up. So option to tuck those back toes, straightening into that back leg if that feels good for you. Just keep that knee hugging in towards the chest. And then we'll slowly start to lower our hand outside of our foot, stepping back into your high plank. And then lowering to the mat however is comfortable for you. We'll untuck the toes, inhale, slight lift, hug the elbows in, pointing your toes. We'll exhale down. Inhale, downward facing dog. And then we'll walk to the top of the mat for a forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift, hands to shin. And then we'll exhale to fold. Inhale, step your left foot to the back. And then we'll exhale the knee down. Inhale, reach the hands up, low lunge. Pausing here for a moment, taking this time to check in. Everything's nice and active. And then slowly starting to hook your thumbs, spread your fingers. Taking a deep inhale, maybe you could lift your chest up a little higher. Keep digging that heel in towards the mat. Keep those legs active. And then bringing yourself back center. Bring your hands to your heart center. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, twisting to the right. So option to hook your left elbow onto your thigh, really open through your chest. Maybe even look all the way back behind you. And then on your next inhale, coming center, we'll lower our left hand to the mat. We'll twist ourselves back to the right. Option to tuck those back toes, straightening into that back leg. Keep hugging that knee in towards the midline. And then lowering your hand outside of your foot, stepping back into your high plank. Then lowering to the mat, however's comfortable for you. We'll untuck the toes, inhale, slight lift. We'll exhale down. Inhale, downwards, facing dog. And then we'll walk to the top of the mat for a forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift. And we'll exhale to fold. This time we'll inhale all the way up. Hooking your thumbs, spreading your fingers, taking a deep inhale. As you exhale, side bending right. On your inhale, coming center. And we'll exhale to the left. On your inhale, coming center, we'll lower our hands to our hearts. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. We'll inhale, halfway lift. And we'll exhale to fold. Inhale, step the right foot to the back. And we'll exhale, the knee down. Inhale, reach your hands up, low lunge. Then hooking your thumbs, spreading the fingertips, take a deep inhale, maybe lifting the chest up a little higher. And then gently bringing yourself back. Hands to your heart center, we'll take a deep inhale. As you exhale, twisting to the left. Option to hook your elbow to your thigh. Maybe look all the way back behind you. And on your next inhale, we'll come center. We'll lower our right hand to the mat, twisting back to your left, option to tuck your toes. And then we'll lower our hand to the mat. We'll step our left foot back into your high plank, lowering to the mat however is comfortable for you. This time we'll untuck our toes. We'll take our arms beside us with our palms facing upwards. On your next inhale, we'll roll the shoulder blades back, lifting the chest up off the mat. And then we'll lift our hands and our feet up off the mat. Any amount that feels good for you. Really roll the shoulder blades together. Could you lift up a little higher? And then keeping yourself lifted, we'll start to bring our hands up beside our chest. Then we'll gently lower everything down, tuck the toes downward, facing dog. And then this time we'll pause here. We'll step our feet together at the back of our mat. Then starting to shift your weight to your left foot. Maybe you could lift your right toes up off the mat. Maybe you could kick that foot all the way back behind you. Wherever feels good for you today. Keep engaging your fingers to the mat. And then maybe start to send your heel up and over to that left glute. So you start to bend into that right knee. So you're sending that heel over towards the left as you keep lifting your right knee up towards the ceiling. And then we'll start to straighten back into our leg. Lower your foot to the mat. We'll walk our feet up towards our hands, forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift. And we'll exhale to fold. We'll inhale, step the left foot to the back. And then we'll lower down onto our knee. On your inhale, reaching your hands up. And we'll hook our thumbs, spread the fingers, take a deep inhale, maybe lift up a little higher. And then coming back center, lower your hands to your heart. Taking a deep inhale. As you exhale, twisting to your right. So maybe hooking your elbow, maybe looking all the way back behind you. And on your next inhale, coming center, lowering your left hand to the mat, reach your right hand back up, Option to tuck your toes, straighten into that back leg. And then we'll lower our hand to the mat outside of our foot, stepping back into your plank. And then lowering to the mat, however is comfortable for you. So same thing as before, untuck your toes, hands come beside you, palms face upwards. On your next inhale, roll the shoulders back. Lift up the chest, lift your hands, lift your feet. See how high you can lift yourself up. One more round of breath. And then keeping yourself lifted, bring your hands up beside your chest, hover here a little bit longer. And then we'll gently lower everything down, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. And then we'll step our feet together at the back of our mat. So this time shifting your weight to your right foot. Lift your left foot up any amount that feels good for you to keep your fingertips spread and your hands engaged to the mat. And then option to stay here or to bend into your knee. Send your heel over to the right glute and keep lifting that knee up towards the ceiling. And then start to straighten back into the leg. Lower your foot to the mat. Walking your feet up towards your hands. Forward fold. This time we'll grab onto the opposite elbows. And we'll just gently rock from side to side. Maybe a nice big bend in your knees. Really let your head hang heavy. And then coming to stillness, we'll let our hands go. We'll step back into downward facing dog. Pausing here for a moment, make sure your fingers are spread, you're engaging your hands to the mat. You're really hugging your chest back towards your thighs, keep your hips up nice and high, adding a bend to your knees if that feels more comfortable for you. Just one more round of breath. And then we'll lower down onto our hands and our knees, sinking back into your favorite child's pose. So maybe knees together, knees apart, or hands behind your feet. Just letting your shoulder blades roll forward. And then reaching your hands forward if they're behind you. On your next inhale, we'll come up onto our hands and our knees. We'll take our right leg to the back of our mat and then our left hand to the front. On your next inhale, start to lift yourself all the way up so your fingertips come in line with your shoulder, your heels in line with your glutes. Really flex into your toes, send your heel to the back of your room and point your toes down towards the mat. Draw the belly up and in. And then we'll just gently lower everything back to the mat. Swapping sides, left leg, right arm, a big inhale to lift up. Again, same thing, point the toes down, help level off the hips, draw the belly up and in. And then we'll gently lower everything to the mat. Swapping sides, right leg, left arm. A big inhale to lift up. And then this time we'll start to lower our left hand to the mat, and then we'll bend our right knee up or our foot up towards the ceiling. Then take a deep inhale and bring your knee up towards your nose as you round through your spine. And then as you exhale, lift your foot back up. Maybe even find a lift through your chest. Then we'll inhale to round. Exhale to lift. We'll do that one more time. Big inhale. Exhale, lift the foot back up. This time we'll stay lifted. We'll start to swivel those left toes out to the side, just like we did earlier. Then we'll start to lift our right hand up towards the ceiling as we flip our foot back behind us. You know, a little bit funky. This time it's an option to stay lifted, or you could grab onto your right ankle. And then maybe you could lift up through your chest as you pull your foot further back behind you. And then maybe you could just drop your head back. Really finding an extension across your chest. You should be able to breathe here. And then we'll gently release our foot. We'll reach our hand up, extending into your leg. We'll lower our foot to the mat, swiveling your hand underneath your wrist, knee back underneath your hip. We'll swap sides. Left leg, right arm. A big inhale to lift up. And then slowly lowering your right wrist to the mat. Start to bend into your knee, foot lifts up towards your ceiling. We'll take a deep inhale, bring your knee up towards your nose, round through the spine. As you exhale, lift back up, maybe find a lift through your chest. A big inhale to round. Exhale to lift. One more just like that, big inhale. And then exhale, lifting back up. So this is where it gets a bit funky. We'll take that right foot out to the side. Start to lift your left hand up off the mat as you start to swivel your foot back behind you. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you grab onto your foot with your left hand to really lift through your chest and send your heel further back behind you. Maybe even drop your head back as well. And then wherever you are, gently releasing your foot, or we'll extend our leg back behind us, reach your hand up. Then we'll slowly lower our foot to the mat, then swivel your hands back underneath your shoulder, your knee back underneath your hip. We'll sink back into child's pose. Really letting that all go. Tuning into the breath. When you're ready, a big inhale, lifting up onto your hands and your knees. This time we'll just swing our legs out to the side. We'll bring our sit bones all the way to the mat. And then we'll meet our feet together in front, taking our knees out wide. So keeping a little bit of distance between your heels and your hips. We'll take our elbows to our shins. Then just shifting your weight forward wherever feels good for you. To feel a stretch across your hips. We'll stay here for 3 long breaths. And when you're ready, slowly lifting up your chest. We'll extend our legs out in front. So really flexing into your toes, send them back towards you. We'll take a deep inhale, reach the hands up. As you exhale, folding yourself forward, lowering your hands down just wherever they meet. Otherwise, you can bend into your knees and really hug your chest over your thighs. Really slowly lifting up your chest. We'll start to bend our right knee out to the side, bringing your foot inside of your left thigh. So option to stay upright if that feels good on your hips. Otherwise, feel free to fold yourself forward. Maybe walking your hands down your shin, maybe grabbing onto your foot. Wherever's comfortable to stay for 3 long breaths. And when you're ready, slowly lifting up your chest, walking your hands back. We'll take our right hand to the outside of our right knee to lift that knee up center. And then we'll step that foot over our left leg. Sitting up nice and tall, wrapping your left arm around, we'll hug our knee in towards our chest. Then taking the right hand behind you, opening across your chest, finding a twist through your spine. Maybe looking all the way back behind you. Really flex into those left toes. And we'll slowly face the front, letting that right leg go. We'll swap sides, take that left leg out to the side, bring the foot in. Might feel a little bit different on the side, so option to stay upright, or you could begin to fold yourself forward. Wherever feels good for you. 3 long breaths. And when you're ready, slowly lifting up your chest, walking your hands back. Left hand to the outside of your left leg, lifting that knee up. We'll step that foot over our right leg, wrapping our right arm around, sitting up nice and tall, and twisting to your left. And slowly facing the front. We'll release that left leg and maybe just giving your legs a bit of a shake or rock your feet from side to side. And then we'll come to stillness, bending into your knees, shuffling to the top of your mat if you're not there already. And then grabbing on behind your thighs, gently rolling yourself back, hugging your knees into your chest. We'll wrap our arms around and then just gently rock from side to side. And then coming to stillness, we'll place both feet on the mat with our knees bent. And then we'll take both knees down to the right, twisting at the lower body. So option to take your arms out wide, or maybe you cactus into your arms, bending into your elbows. Or you could just place your hands on your belly, maybe looking over to your left if that feels good on your neck. And then lifting your knees up, center. And then lowering to your left. An option to look over to your right. And then lifting your knees up, center. We'll bring our right knee into our chest and then start to reach that foot up towards the ceiling. Then placing your hands either behind your thigh, behind your calf, or you could grab onto your foot if that feels comfortable for you. Really flex into your toes, point them down towards your face. If it feels good on your hips and your hamstrings, you could extend that left leg along the floor, but make sure you can touch that left heel to the mat. And then maybe just finding some movement through your foot, maybe point and flex your toes, maybe rotate out your ankle, finding a couple of clicks. And then coming to stillness, we'll lower that foot to the mat with our knee bent. And then start to bring your left knee into your chest and reach your foot up towards the ceiling, placing your hands wherever feels good for you. An option to extend your right leg along the floor, pointing your toes down first of all, flexing into your foot, a gentle pull on your leg. And then maybe finding some movement with your foot, a couple of clicks, point and fix your toes. And then this time we'll keep our left foot lifted and we'll bring our right knee into the chest and we'll extend both legs up towards the ceiling. So flex into both toes, they're pointing down towards you. And then gently just pulling on your legs, but try and keep your hips down on the mat so you don't lift yourself all the way up. Just a gentle stretch, maybe feel this in your lower back. Try and keep your upper body grounded to the mat. And then we'll gently just hug our knees back into our chest, wrapping your arms around. We'll just gently rock from side to side. And coming to stillness, we'll place our feet on the mat, our knees bent, and then we'll take both knees wide. So we start to bring our feet, our soles of our feet together. So the closer your feet are to your hips, the more sensations you may feel. So feel free to adjust your feet as you need. And your arms could be beside you or on your belly, whatever feels good to you. Maybe closing your eyes here if you wish. Taking this time to really tune into the breath in your body. See if you can lengthen your inhales, really filling up your belly and your lower lungs. And as you exhale, letting it all go. Seeing if you could soften a little more into your mat with every exhale. Slowly returning your knees back together. We'll hug our knees back into our chest, wrap the arms around, gently rock from side to side. Or you could draw little circles with your knees. Coming to stillness, placing your feet on your mat. And then start to extend your legs along the floor. And then your hands above your head along the floor. And then taking a deep inhale, stretching the right side of your body. The right fingers all the way down to your toes. And then softening into your mat. Big inhale, left side, left fingers down to your toes. And then softening into your mat. Last time, big inhale, both sides, fingers, toes, maybe rotate out your wrists, your ankles, maybe have a bit of a yawn. And then softening into your mat, placing one hand on your belly and one on your heart. Closing your eyes here if you wish. Allowing yourself to soften into your mat. Allowing the body to be at ease. Taking this time to connect with your breath. Feeling your breath move beneath your hands. Your heartbeat beneath your hands. Connecting to this present moment. Letting go of what happened before now, what's to come, or what's happening around you. Allowing yourself to be here on your mat. Tuning into the sensations in the body. Noticing how you're feeling right now. And then taking this time to give yourself gratitude for taking this time for yourself. And on your next exhale, just releasing your arms beside you with your palms facing upwards. Maybe taking your feet as wide as your mat if that feels good for you. And just giving yourself permission to let go of anything happening outside of your space. Slowly bringing your awareness back into your space. Maybe start to wiggle your fingers, your toes, creating a bit of movement in the body. And then when you're ready, hugging your knees in towards your chest, wrapping your arms around and just gently rocking from side to side, or you could draw little circles with your knees. And then coming to stillness, placing your feet back on your mat, taking your knees out to your side and then rolling into a little ball. And when you're ready, coming up into a seated position of choice. I can't see you, so I'm going to assume you're all there. When you're ready, we'll take a deep inhale, meeting the palms together above the head. And then we'll exhale back down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, back down. One more big inhale up. This time, exhale, hands to heart. Namaste. Thank you, guys.